Blood and Wine is officially only 2 weeks away, and this week we've received a ton of new information regarding The Witcher 3's final expansion. For this video, I've organized most of the details that we know about Blood and Wine so far, so that you can know what to expect come May 31st. I'm going to start off with the details of the Toussaint region, and then we'll get into some of the new features coming with the expansion update. Geralt's final journey begins in the French-inspired Duchy of Toussaint, a vibrant, colorful wine country that seems plucked straight from a fairy tale. Toussaint is located south of Temeria, and at least for the purposes of the game, is roughly the size of Velen or Novigrad. Although the Toussaint region is technically within the bounds of the Nilfgaardian Empire, Toussaint is still considered an independent region and is known for being untainted by war and imperialism. Both Geralt and Dandelion are no strangers to Toussaint. In fact, Dandelion had formed a serious relationship with the Duchess several years before Geralt arrived. Unsurprisingly, Geralt had also had his own fling with the sorceress Fringilla Vigo during his time in Beauclair. The relationship between the two obviously didn't pan out, but there's still a high chance that we'll see Fringilla in Blood and Wine, perhaps as another temporary love interest. Toussaint is considered the ultimate wine country. The volcanic-rich soil of the region allows for vineyards to flourish, making wine production the primary industry of the region. In Blood and Wine, Geralt happens to arrive during a wine festival, which is probably more like happy hour for these tipsy locals. Multiple vineyards are scattered across the countryside, each competing with one another to create the best product. In fact, the competitive nature of some wineries have caused certain winemakers to send bandits and thieves after the caravans of their rivals in an attempt to squash the competition. And while the competing wineries are busy sabotaging one another, monsters have begun to invade their wine cellars and wreak havoc on society. Toussaint is a region untouched by war, but after a series of gruesome murders, it seems this proud duchy has a much more sinister problem on its hands, and its residents may not be able to sober up in time. Despite the issues plaguing the town, there's still a place for newcomers to enjoy the vintner's life, and Geralt is no exception. Early in the expansion, Geralt will be given his very own vineyard named Corvo Bianco, which will serve as his main base of operations during his stay in Toussaint. Building upon and expanding the vineyard grants unique buffs to both Geralt and Roche, including vitality and stamina upgrades that are applied while resting. And after enough renovations, Geralt can even begin inviting guests to his humble abode, some of whom may include some familiar female faces. It definitely seems like this is going to be an extended trip for Geralt. All the while, the impressive Mount Gorgon looms over the region in the background, and may actually be the source of the area's volcanic activity. And with a name like Gorgon, I can't help but expect a Medusa-themed quest or a creature of some sort. The overall layout of Toussaint seems reminiscent of Pompeii, so perhaps this duchy will meet a similar fate. Toussaint's capital city of Beauclair was built upon the ruins of an old elven civilization, and while the town's inhabitants tried to put this unsavory historical fact out of their minds, being built on an elven graveyard could explain some of the strange occurrences that the locals have been experiencing as of late. Rather than having a formally organized military, Toussaint is patrolled by chivalric knight-errants who attempt to protect the duchy from equally chivalric creatures, as we can see with this peacock-feathered ogre in this scene. The Witcher series is known to draw parallels between popular fairy tales and literature, and based off of what we've seen in the latest gameplay, the quirky chivalric knight, decorated giant ogre, and toppling windmill seem to be a clear reference to Don Quixote. Later, during an arena battle gone wrong, Geralt comes to the aid of this clumsy knight who lets down his guard at the wrong moment while apparently trying to woo one of the royal women. You know, the thirsty one. And due to his penchant for cleaning up other people's problems, Geralt may unknowingly plunge into the role of Cyrano de Bergerac, uniting a couple under the guise of his own impressive actions. Way to go, Geralt! Aside from that, there's still the giant Alice-inspired mushrooms, as well as a drug trip we can look forward to where we can even talk to Roche. And this is still just a taste of the fairy tale references that we may encounter in Blood and Wine. After playing Hearts of Stone, I for one am particularly excited to see what kind of literary spin they put on some of the 90 new quests coming in this expansion. One characteristic that sets Toussaint apart is its bright, vibrant color palette. Each family has its own heraldry or coat of arms, and the knights tend to stand out in armor adorned with bright gold plating and colorful embellishments, which is an armor that you can actually obtain for Geralt as well. Speaking of armor, there's going to be at least 100 new pieces of armor and weapons, including some for Roche as well. And thanks to a new mechanic, we can even dye armor into different colors to fit right in with the gaudy locals. Armors are now upgraded to Grandmaster quality, meaning that we'll likely run into a new armorer along the way. And the new armor also includes Witcher sets. Now, those of you with an eye for detail have noticed that in the teaser trailer, Geralt is actually wearing his armor set from the first Witcher game. It's been said that we'll be able to obtain this original armor as well as the blue hooded outfit from Witcher 2 among the new armor varieties. Now, the new features don't end at armor sets and weapons, of course. The expansion is going to have a new musical score and title screen unique to Blood and Wine, new mutations that enhance our existing perks in the skill tree, a new Skellige Gwent deck to represent the island clans, and of course new monsters to challenge your fighting capabilities. Vampires are what put the blood in Blood and Wine, so look forward to facing an assortment of higher and lower vampire varieties, which include Bruxas, Alps, Fletters, and possibly many more. Overall, there's about 20 new types of monsters coming in this expansion that are unique to the Toussaint region, including archspores, giant centipedes, spoon-collecting wights, noise-sensitive rock beetle things, basically creatures you don't want to find in your bed sheets late at night, so you might want to pack an extra swallow potion and maybe throw in some black blood, just saying. The recommended level for the expansion is around 35, and the new Game Plus max level has been increased to 100. Now, if for some reason you haven't finished the base game or you're not at a high enough level, don't worry, because you'll have the option to play as a pre-made level 35 Geralt, similar to what was offered in Hearts of Stone if you just want to dive straight into the expansion. There's also going to be 2 more physical Gwent decks, which consist of the Nilfgaardian and Northern Realms cards, that you can get for buying either the retail copy of Blood and Wine or pre-ordering the expansion pass. If you went the digital route like I did, all you have to do is go to the Redeem Gwent website and prove that you purchased the expansion, and they'll send you a code to buy the Gwent cards separately. Blood and Wine is set to release on May 31st and offers more than 30 hours of gameplay content, and I for one am going to try and milk every minute from this expansion because I don't want the game to end. The Witcher 3 has been an amazing, fun, and emotional experience for most of us, and hopefully Blood and Wine will properly wrap up Geralt's journey. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video or found it informative, please leave a like down below to support the channel. Also, let me know in the comments what part of Blood and Wine you're looking forward to the most. I look forward to making more Blood and Wine content in the coming weeks, so make sure to hit the subscribe button if you want to stay up to date. Once again, thank you so much for watching, stay strange my loves, and until next time, this is Strangelove, signing out.